Like, people may think we wouldn't have thought to do that because it's just not the way it's done. My father had done some trade with Asia. My father would have liked if I went into business. I would have been a very unsuccessful business person, but he never gave me pressure. But it was enough to put me on the path to just find a love for Chinese language. And then just with any language, whatever I could study in New York wasn't enough to really be good at it. And so after I had my undergrad degree, I just came here. When I'd been studying here for a couple of years, I got sick, and it kind of made me reevaluate. I wanted to just kind of prove to myself that I was really understanding what I was seeing, appreciating time, observing deeply. And right around that time, a book had came out about my grandfather's photography. He died when I was very young, but he was a photojournalist with the New York Daily News. So he took a lot of very iconic images of either news, sports, celebrities, that kind of thing. So the photography from that time had valuable information, but was also very artistic. Literati art was a way of representing nature with your own voice inside. It could be either grainy and blurry, or limited information, or not have kind of the horizon line or reference points, or cropping and folding things so that you get a feeling of something that your brain has to work harder to figure out what's going on, and which ends up being more satisfying. There were things in these photographs where people could make reference to art history or history, and so to be careful with it, just to make sure you know what people might think when they see them. And also at the same time, it gave this really nice feeling of connection, and that I could be doing something, feel connected to a very old tradition. And then presenting it in ways that people who have a more traditional education would not necessarily think to do. Even if you take something that is normally presented vertically, you just rotate it horizontally, or you put a border or something like that. It's like people may think we wouldn't have thought to do that because it's just not the way it's done. Western mindset has a bit more of a kind of a sense of mission, trying to make some kind of statement or something like that. But I wasn't trying to, if anything, I was trying to make myself as small as possible. All those old classical landscapes, it's a good reminder because people are always very small in that art. I showed some photography at a photo gallery in 798, and I mean, it was just my Chinese name, and the intro was in Chinese, and I didn't have a picture of myself in it. And so I think a lot of people either assumed it was some kind of artist name, or that I was Japanese, or maybe some old person, or something that, and it even was the case, it's still probably even now. I think many people might recognize some of the art, but not necessarily know who I am. There definitely is a difference. And when I speak to a Western, or an audience that's not very familiar with Chinese art, just usually right up the front, I just talk about to not feel intimidated by it. And that this is just another way of seeing and presenting things. And people usually love that. It's just something very fresh. People understand photography. And so if you can show the similarities and differences where they overlap and where they differ, it's a good gateway. So it opens up this tradition for people, which makes me excited. I felt like it's something that I needed to do. So much difficulty, so many challenges confronting those people that kind of drift back and forth between Chinese and Western worlds. In the past, I've had people really say complimentary things about the art, but it's only with this bilingual art that I really saw people get very emotional. Usually people that have like the bilingual brain going back and forth, and usually it's hard. Usually don't see that expressed in art, how your mind bounces back and forth. My wife and I work together on the translations. Do we include this word in English or do we use it in Chinese? And then what would be because it's really endless possibility in what you choose, and then which character and what are the visual aspects of that character. And so having a text element adds a whole another aspect to it. And so I find that for those people who have a similar viewpoint, they find a lot of comfort in that art.
Thank you very, very much.
Of course.
We were both very inspired by your lecture last time, and we're very happy that we could take some of your time.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. I hope it's helpful.